I will show you a quick architecture slides with a quick description about it. So the Gmbox and what our company doing and developing is the unified all-in-one dockstation. Just you can see it on the picture. This is. So we just the endpoint and mainly this is our production. Our task is to make you to replace the switch from the previous existing, the typical old used infrastructure combined from the several equipments like the thin client, external cameras, IP phone and everything else to one combined device. And actually all our competitors is what we combine in all-in-one workstation. So we not just only IP phone, we not just only the docking station or the thin client. We combine everything what you can see here, and we actually a bit more. So we allow you to provide the body services in your company. We allow you to make a secure device for some VDI production and working in the virtualized environment. We allow you to work with the different network connectivity like 3G model. The 3G modem can be installed onto the device. You can use the internal webcam for video calling features. You can connect a lot of peripheral device because we have up to 6 USB ports and etc. etc. So this is how the whole solution in your company can look like. We just the user workstation and we actually the management server. So the management server is actually a part of GM Smart solution. It allows you to combine all other services that you have in company and provide these services through the unified profile to the user workstation, like the Gmbox. Also, we have a mobile app that allows you to authenticate in your corporate network infrastructure. And also you can use other methods like the fingerprint, like the HID card, like the USB tokens, or even your typical login and password to access all your services. And besides that, you should have in your company some sort of video solution. So what you see in previous videos is that I connected to the virtualized machine. And this is virtualized machine. It's the machine with all my application like the PowerPoint, Excel, like the browser and etc. And to allow you to manage all these virtual machines for all your people, for all your employees, you need some VDI service. This is the virtual desktop infrastructure, and we support a different variety of platforms like VMware Horizon, like the Citrix, like the Microsoft. You can use even Huawei Fusion. So any broker that allow you to make the virtual desktop infrastructure. Also, you can use some other firm and we can integrate this solution onto our device. Mostly the VDI service, they allow you to create the virtual machine for user, to launch it, then the user came to shut down, for example, after 9 o'clock in the evening, then he leaves his place. And also they have such feature like simplify the administration of the virtual machines because all virtual machines on the server, so it's much easier to make tasks like updating the antivirus software and etc. etc. Also, you need to have some PBX system. It can be like on premises, hosted in your company, like some Siemens, Panasonic, Cisco, Avaya, different like open source free switch or FreeCX or Asterix. So it can be any SIP based PBX. Mainly it's used for telephony, for making calls inside your company and to connect all your devices like our GMBox dock station and all your IP phones to the corporate network infrastructure. It's not shown here, but you should have some like DHCP and network services that allow you to make some IP distribution and to give some IP address to the devices and some these typical network services. Also, you can use the domain like Active Directory or any LDAP services to be as your domain of all your users and all your profiles, mainly like login and passwords and etc. But our management server also allow you to combine different accounts from the VDI, from the PBX, and make this profile available on the user workstation. So when the user came using their authentication method, the GMBox asking the management server, hello, the new user and user, for example, I need to know what's VDI service launched for them and what PBX service to launch for them. So this profile is combined with also some external policy. For example, for specific user, we forbid to use the USB flash cards on this dock station, or we forbid them to use some external services. This, or we forbid them to use integrating his telephone, mobile phone with the dock station. So this profile with all details is pulled from the GMBox management server to the workstation with also some credentials and notifications and addresses of PBX services and VDI services. And after this, the user on his device or which he chooses to use get all application, all software, everything. So if for next time he chooses the next GMBox, then this GMBox will pull the same data from the server and launch and connect from the GMBox directly to the video platform and directly from the GMBox to the PBX services. For now, have a lot of integration and testing completed with a different virtualization and telephony services. Again, from the virtualization, it's the Huawei, VMware, Horizon, Citrix, Microsoft. Also, we have some Russian companies that allow you to build it on, or you can use some open source technology and build this virtualization that will host all personal user virtual machines on the server. And most of these services can be on premises. So mainly for enterprise big companies, when you have 1,000 of employees, you prefer to host it on your data center. But also, for example, you can use the Microsoft Azure to connect to the virtualized, based on the service model, to your client, to these cloud-based services, and don't have any capex on your side. From the telephony side, we tested with Cisco, with Avaya, with Huawei, with Siemens, with different open source technology like based on FreeSwitch and Asterix. And again, the telephony can be hosted on client basement, so it can be on premises, or it can be in the cloud. So for telephony, you can connect to some or you can be the telecom operator and provide to your clients the telephony services, and so they can connect their IP-based, SIP-based phones and also our GMBox dock station to their platform. This is again save you from any capex cost, but if you prefer to have it on your site, you can set up some servers with Cisco, with Avaya, host it, and then access directly from the dock station to the telephony through your internal network. what we as Getmobit provide is the GM box with all embedded software application like the IP phones, like the different clients to the VGA services, and etc. etc. Also, we provide the GM management suite. It's the server that allow you to control all our devices and to integrate with the company policies. It's also allow you to update our devices for new firmware. It's allow you to see the monitoring, like the who working on device, when he log in, when he log out, and all the security policy. It has some profile basement, for example, USB flash cards allowing, disallowing, etc. etc. It also has some web console, so any IT administrator can control it from the web console. We have some group policy, and you can use different roles in the system for security officer or for IT guys to done different tasks. And also the mobile assistant is the application that allows you to be as a key to log in to your corporate desktop infrastructure. It's available on Android and iOS, and you can get it through the Google Play or Apple Store. So it's freely available just now. Moment that this total solution, it's mainly allow you to ease your management and extend the user mobility and save the total cost ownership. Because if you need to administer two PCs, it's more costly than you need to have only one device. It's the top 2 point of failure. In our device, we have only the GM box, so it's only one device per table, per user, and you don't have any issues with the physical issues with the PCs and issues when the data can be stolen from device, and etc. etc. Our GM box, it's a universal dockstation, and as you showed in previous videos, it have two modifications, the GM box base and the GM box duo. Now I will just give a brief of our specification. So the GM box is the Intel CPU. It's low cost with no extra fun. It's allow you to work on without any cooling system and etc. It's had the 4 cores. It had a lot of memory inside. It's not available for user, but it's the firmware part. So this is just for firmware and for all the application pre-installed like the IP phone and etc. It has a lot of RAM and operating memory. This supports for connecting two monitors, one HDMI, one DisplayPort. One can be 4K, one can be 2K, and you can work with it simultaneously in one time. It has a lot of USB connections, so you can connect external camera for higher resolution, or some USB printers, or some readers, some USB flash cards, different sources. The device had the audio speakerphone inside. It has the 2 speakerphones, so it's allow you for some stereo output. Also, you can connect the typical headset for your working like in typical call center areas. Optionally, the device can have the Wi-Fi internal and Bluetooth. In most configuration it has. It allows you to connect to your mobile phone or to Wi-Fi network. It has also the Ethernet to connect to the local area network, and the optional 3G, 4G LTE modem for remote places. One more thing is about the GM Box Duo, and this is the internal scheme of it. This is the Duo, and it has actually the 2 motherboards. So this allows me to connect it to the different network infrastructure, and inside we have the keyboard mouse switch that can allow you to connect the keyboard, mouse, and the HDMI and switch them between one motherboard and another motherboard. And the main reason for this is to work in, for example, in banking system or with high security of data. For this system, you can have this one motherboard, for example, additional, connected to the totally separate network infrastructure. It has your own management server, your own VDI services, and this allows, for example, to connect to the internet for some stock exchange, to see some video, and etc. etc. But the main motherboard will be connected to your private network. And for example, if for public network you can use some service model, or for private network you can use on-premises, where you can have your own IP services, your own VDI platforms and everything. So for example, to make some documents and some corporate information, you can use the main motherboard. And because there's two motherboards inside and no physical connection between them, so it allows you to be connected to and work with the different category of data, like the secret and the public, from the same machine at the same time. And be sure that no data will be leaked from one device or from one segment of your network to another segment of your network. Based on this infrastructure, you can create a different type of workspaces, like the remote. For example, it can be home offices for your VIP. It can be some small areas with workers around 5. Then you don't need to have any services. And for remote workspaces, our dock station can be connected to your corporate network through the virtual private channel network. We have support of different solutions, but again it will be cryptographic and secure, and connecting our device to your network infrastructure from remote location. You can also use it as a typical workspace in your company on premises or as a service model. So this allows a different type of people to work on impersonal behavior. So you can have a hot desking feature, because one device can be shared between many people on the same day or on the week or on the month. So you can utilize the office space more productively. Also, for example, for 3D engineers or for programmers, when you have a lot of secure and very sensitive data, and you have a very high demand on power, like CPU power and etc. So utilizing the server hardware gives a more resource to user when he needs it. And you don't need to spend a lot of money on the personal computer that sits under his desk and needs some services like hard disk replacement, like cooling system, and etc. etc. Our device will live much longer than the typical PC, and utilizing server power allow you to distribute resources more efficiently. And for example, then you need a lot of resources to build a big model, for example, of a ship or of a plane. You can do it using server hardware, but you can't do it using the typical PC under your desk. So the all benefits from this solution, it's actually the high productivity of staff, the cost saving of IT budget. It has the best customer experience, because the customers don't have any issues with their infrastructure, and the business have agility to work and to, for example, extend quickly or move people from one office to another, and etc. etc. Also, it's very secure, because no data can be leaked from the device, and this is all can be done if you build a good infrastructure according to what I said earlier. We are actually ready to establish a partnership with a different type of clients to build a different infrastructure. So, for example, like areas of enterprise, government, medical, and also whole solution can be even used for any smart office, city, or workplace ecosystem to provide best experience for end user. That's all.